What if everything you thought you knew about Mexico was wrong? While the world's attention has been fixated on China's rise and America's dominance, a quiet revolution has been brewing just south of the US border. A revolution so significant that it's already reshaping global trade, and most people haven't even noticed yet. This is the untold story of Mexico's transformation from an underestimated neighbor to a potential economic superpower. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why some experts believe Mexico could become the most important economy you've never paid attention to. It's a story that's been centuries in the making. A nation once defined by its ancient civilizations, colonial past, and turbulent economic cycles is now quietly rewriting its future. This is Mexico, the 13th largest country in the world and the second largest economy in Latin America. Yet for decades, it's been underestimated by its powerful neighbor to the north, the United States. But that geographical relationship, once a source of imbalance, is now Mexico's greatest strategic asset. But here's what's shocking. Mexico just achieved something that seemed impossible just 5 years ago. The nearly 2,000-mile border between the two nations, once viewed through the lens of immigration and security, is rapidly becoming the backbone of a new economic alliance, one that's reshaping global trade and fueling Mexico's transformation. The numbers are about to blow your mind. The evidence is striking. Mexico's northern states, those closest to the US, are outperforming the rest of the country, with stronger GDP per capita, modernized industries, and booming export hubs. But this economic vitality is no longer limited to the border. It's spreading southward, driven by a seismic shift in global manufacturing known as nearshoring. And this shift is happening faster than anyone predicted. Nearshoring, the relocation of production closer to a company's main market, is rewriting the rules of international trade. As global tensions rise and the US distances itself from China, foreign companies are looking to Mexico as a reliable, affordable, and proximate manufacturing alternative. Here's the moment that changed everything. In 2023, foreign direct investment into Mexico hit a historic high, growing 18% year over year. And in a milestone moment that sent shockwaves through global markets, Mexico overtook China as the top source of US imports. Yes, you heard that right. Mexico, not China, is now America's largest trading partner. But to understand how Mexico pulled off this incredible feat, we need to go back to where it all began. Picture this. It's 1901, and Mexican workers have just struck something that would change their country forever. Mexico's economic roots stretch deep into its natural resources. In the early 20th century, vast oil discoveries, such as the famed Cerro Azul field, catapulted the country into the ranks of major global oil producers. The government soon nationalized the industry, forming Pemex, the state oil giant, which would go on to fund roughly 30 to 40% of public revenue for decades. This era gave rise to Mexico's economic miracle, a golden age from 1950 to 1981, where GDP soared, infrastructure expanded, and literacy surged. For 30 years, Mexico seemed unstoppable. But then came the crash that nearly destroyed everything. But like many booms, it came with a cost. When global oil prices crashed in the early 1980s, Mexico's debt-fueled spending collapsed. The country defaulted on its loans, triggering the infamous lost decade, 10 years of economic stagnation and inflation that wiped out a generation's progress. Yet from this economic catastrophe emerged a strategy that would set the stage for Mexico's current success. It took time, but Mexico rebounded. By the 1990s, it was pivoting away from oil dependency and embracing trade, most notably through the 1994 North American Free Trade Agreement, or NAFTA. What happened next transformed Mexico beyond recognition. NAFTA was a game changer. It eliminated trade barriers between Mexico, the US and Canada, unleashing an export boom and transforming the Mexican economy. Exports as a share of GDP more than doubled, while the value of those exports quadrupled. But more importantly, the agreement sparked a wave of foreign direct investment, particularly in the manufacturing sector. American companies began relocating operations across the border, drawn by lower costs and tariff-free access to the US market. But here's what the statistics don't tell you, the real human story behind these numbers. This wasn't just economic theory, it was real impact on real people. New factories, new jobs, and new opportunities. Higher-skilled manufacturing roles began to replace traditional agricultural work. Mexicans gained access to pensions, job security, and a more formalized labor market. Education and training followed, slowly improving the skill set of the workforce. Though challenges remain, particularly in rural areas, the foundation of a modern economy was being laid.